Alright, welcome back to my series on building the Seed Studio RainbowCube. I forgot to mention in the last episode that this was a Valentine's Day gift from my boyfriend, so you can thank him for enabling me to do this project for you guys. So, our next step in the construction of the RainbowCube here is going to be taking these little sections of PCB and soldering them onto the actual lattice work here with the LEDs. This part actually has me a little bit nervous. This is going to be fairly... It's not going to be technically demanding so much as very physically complicated, because everything has to be straight and lined up, and if anything gets messed up, it'll be really hard to correct. So the first thing that you're going to need to do when you get one of these kits and start working on it is you'll notice that there are side A and side B legs here. So side A, side B, side A, side B. Alright, now, pardon the yawn there. The next step, we have to insert this little leg here, and it's got little notches that will sort of kind of align on the PCB here. And once we've got that set in, see, it's swinging all over the place. This is going to be very challenging. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to reach over here, grab my vise. This should help a little bit with this process. I just have to be exceedingly gentle. So I'm just going to take and very lightly clamp down on the B side there. And then we're going to take the A side legs and which one do I want to start with? I think I'll start on this side. So we'll take our A side legs, and there's no friction holding this one on. So what I'm gonna have to do, or at least the way I'm going to try to do this, is I'm going to go ahead and put a drop of solder on there, and then a drop of solder, let's see, that's going to be this pad here. I don't know if you can even, if that was even on camera. So now I've got those kind of pre-soldered there. I'm just gonna dab that like so. Make sure I've got it aligned nicely. And then I'm going to go ahead and repeat that process, because that actually seemed to work quite well. So I'm going to go ahead and solder just one pad on each of these. And these are the side B legs. I'd better put those aside before I mess everything up. So what I'm going to do here is put a little dab of solder onto this pad here. You can really do this with any pad, as long as they line up, but I'm just using the one pad singularly to seat the legs. So that I can make sure that they get lined up nicely. And then once they're lined up, I will solder the remaining ones and make sure they get a nice big blob of solder on them to secure them. So we'll just melt this solder down. Make sure it's nice and lined up. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't have to be super crazy exact, but you know, if it's crooked and not aligned nicely, it'll look ugly. So this one's all over the place here. There we go, nice and lined up. Seems like a fairly secure solder joint. So now that those are secure, I'm going to go ahead and solder the rest of these pads. There we go. This is going to be fairly challenging to do this. Probably getting my head all in frame and you guys can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm not going to recommend any specific technique for soldering these legs on. It seems fairly fiddly process. I'm sure everybody will come up with their own way of doing it that works for them. I encourage you to share in the comments below what techniques you use if you build this project. Share your ideas with everyone else. So now we'll go to the back side. There are 4 pads that you have to solder on each of these legs to make it work. And it will take some patience to get them all in there. Probably a couple of burned fingers as well. But that's what happens when you're working with something that melts metal. Alright. The inane dialogue has begun. So I'm just going to keep working on these pads. Getting a nice secure joint across all of them. And the last one. There we go. And one more. Come on. There we go. All right. I got a bit of a... There we go. Alright. That's probably not my neatest soldering job in the world. The blobs are fairly uneven, but the important part is that they're nice and secure. So, then, we just have to grab the next lattice. We have to make sure, you'll notice that one corner of these is black. They need to all make sure that they are lined up with their neighbors there. So just work your way through all of the legs one by one, soldering them on, getting them lined up, and the project will start coming together. So I'm going to go ahead and go into time-lapse mode, finish these up, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, and we're back again. So that's the A side done. I'm just making sure you keep all of the side A ones on the side A, and you have an arrow on each of the LED lattices to tell you which side is side A. Now the next part is to do the side B ones. Make sure that you point the spikes downwards. Well, make sure you point the spikes in the same direction that you pointed the side A ones. Otherwise you may end up with an embarrassing misalignment in your PC boards. So I'm just going to go ahead and do these in time-lapse again. No need for me to chat aimlessly with you guys as I do it. So we'll hop into time-lapse again and see you when I've finished this part. Alright, and that part is done. Noticed as I was building it that their tolerances were a little too tight, and it was hard to solder the side B legs on because they didn't leave quite enough room for the LEDs. But other than that, it's actually starting to look like a thing now. So that's it for this stage of the series. In the next stage of the series, we'll build the bottom part of the PCB here and mount the LEDs on. And then in a fourth part, we'll start actually playing around with the Rainbow. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Click here to subscribe, and I'll put an interesting video for you right there. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.